Yo, 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 what's good, fight fans? This is DJC Combat, and with the year 2023 coming to a close, I want to give you my predictions for champs by the end of 2024. This year, I didn't do good still like 2022, but I did better than 2022 because 2022 I only got two predictions right, Valentina and Islam. 2023, I was right about Islam, Wei and Volk remaining on top, and I accidentally predicted O'Malley winning the title. I didn't think it would be through beating Sterling. I assumed that he'd like win the vacant title from Aljo moving up, but hey, what the hell? He got the job done, so I'm taking that. I'm flexing that anyway. But now let's move on to these current picks for 2024, and here goes nothing. Let's see how good I do or how terrible I do this year. Only time will tell. So I'm going to start with the women's strawweight division. And you guessed it, I got Tatiana Suarez winning the strawweight title in 2024, closing out the year 2024. I just think it's inevitable, man. I think it's destiny. And I just think that she's a horrible stylistic matchup for Zhang Weili. And I think that fight's going to happen. And I don't think Weili's going to be able to deal with the wrestling style, the dominant wrestling style of Tatiana Suarez. I think Tatiana's going to be too much. And I think she's going to end the second reign of Zhang and take over the women's strawweight division and fulfill her destiny by becoming the UFC strawweight champion, like she was meant to be, especially after everything that she's been through. But yeah, that's what I foresee happening. And now for women's flyweight, this one's a little bit tricky, a little bit challenging, because any woman can get that belt. It's a very competitive division at the top. But I'm going to go with Alexa Grasso to keep the title. I could be off with this one. It could be a little bit of bias. You know me, I love me some Alexa Grasso. That's my girl. I could easily be wrong. I could see Shevchenko getting the belt back. I could see Erin potentially getting the belt. If Manon beats Erin, she's not beating Grasso. It'll only be up to Valentina by that point. But I do think that Grasso is going to win her next fight. I just have a good feeling about it. You know, coming off that close fight with Valentina, she's got a point to prove, a statement to make. And a lot of people are going to underestimate her. They're going to expect her to be just blown away by the next girl, whoever's next in line. But Alexa's going to stand her ground and hold on to that throne, and she's not going to go away that easily. If she fights Weili, I favor her to win that. If she fights Valentina, I favor her to win that. I could see a circumstance where, you know, she fights Weili at UFC 300 and beats her, and then fights Valentina at Noche UFC at Mexican Independence Day 2024 in the Sphere, and beats her and closes out the year as champion. Or fights Valentina and then Erin and finds a way to somehow get it done against Blanchfield. I could be wrong. Who knows? But I'm going to keep the faith that Alexa Grasso can stay on top, man. She's got the skills to do so. She's got the champ medal to do so. She's getting better every single fight, and she's not the girl to be underestimated. Now, let's go to women's bantamweight. Irene Aldana, I think, is going to grab that title as an underdog. No one's going to expect her to become the champion, especially, you know, after her last title fight with Amanda Nunes. And I think she'll be an underdog whether she has to fight Pennington or Myra Bueno Silva. I think the winner of Myra and Raquel will beat Juliana Pena. But then I think they'll fight Irene Aldana in December. Hopefully. They could fight her early 2025. And my prediction could be off. And it could end up being the winner of, you know, January 20th. But I think Irene Aldana, I think she's got the perfect skill set to become a UFC champion. She's got the physical attributes. She's big, she's athletic, she's powerful, and she's got good boxing. And she's developing into a well-rounded mixed martial artist. I just think that she's got to be able to put it all together, and she's yet to reach her full potential. But I think this year, it's going to be the year where she is going to reach her full potential. And I think she's going to do it for Mexico. She's got the country of Mexico on her back. And she's determined to bring the fourth belt home to Mexico. And I think that's going to happen. I think this time she's not going to screw that up. And now to men's flyweight. This one was a little bit challenging because this division is, extremely competitive. But I'm going to go with Alexandre Pantoja. I think he's got the skill set to be a long reigning champion. I mean, he's already beaten Brandon Moreno 3 times, who's like the next best guy. If they fight again, can I really say Moreno's going to win? It's possible, but uncertain. I do favor him to beat Amir Albazi. He already beat Royval. He already beat Cara France. He would likely beat him again. Although he could lose these fights. Manel Kape had a close fight with him. He has a good chance of beating him. I just think Pantoja, with his well-roundedness, his scrappiness, his power, and his ground game, his jiu-jitsu, everything that he brings to the table, man. Pantoja is just such a difficult guy to fight, hard guy to beat. He's the champion for a reason, and I think he can hold that belt for a while. I do see him defending his belt a couple more times this year, closing out the year as champion. But if the belt does change hands this year, I will not be shocked. Now, the men's bantamweight division. Now, this one is super challenging. Last year I said Sean O'Malley, but this time I'm not so sure, man. Sean O'Malley's got a competitive roster behind him. He's got Merab problems. He's got Sandhagen problems. Marlon Vera problems, who he's fighting. That's not a given win. That's not a guaranteed win. Styles make fights. Marlon Vera has a chance. Anyone can get the belt this year. I mean, O'Malley could stay the champion, but unlikely. Sandhagen can grab that belt. It's possible Vera could get that title. Jan getting the belt back is unlikely. But there's Merab. And actually, of all people in the men's bantamweight division, that's who I'm going to go with. Merab Dvalishvili, the Machine. As much as I don't like him, as much as people don't like him, he's good, man. And he's undoubtedly, one of the best guys in the division. He's more proven to be maybe the best bantamweight in the world. Unlike Sean O'Malley, because O'Malley, his resume isn't all of that. He's beaten a bunch of nobodies, and then he barely beat Peter Yan. And then he beat Aljamain Sterling, which was not a fluke. It was a good win, legit win. But he's not gone through, the best of the best, the toughest guys. Whereas Merab has. Merab's such a difficult style to deal with his toughness, his relentless pressure, his endless gas tank, and his high-level wrestling. I think he's going to be a problem for a lot of these guys to deal with, whether he has to fight Sean O'Malley or Chito Vera or Sandhagen, whoever he fights. I think he's closing out the year as champion, but I hope it's going to be Sean O'Malley again, but I can't be biased, but we shall see. And then featherweight. This one was actually very hard to call because I don't want to count out Alexander Volkanovski here. I could definitely see him beating Ilya, but he's been champ long enough, and I just have a feeling that by the end of 2024, Volk's not going to be champion. I see a new champion, and I do think it's going to be Ilya. Now, Ilya may not be champ by the end of the year because he could beat Volk and then lose the title to Max Holloway. But who knows, man? Max might take himself out of the picture. He might go up to lightweight and take other fights. He might move on from the featherweight division. So what I think is going to happen is I'm not certain on this one, but I do see Ilya dethroning Volkanovski and then fighting him again 6 months later. Maybe fighting him in July or August, and then maybe not fighting again for the rest of 2024 and, ending the year as champion. Or maybe he does fight all 3 times. But I think what's going to happen is both of his fights with Volkanovski are going to be drawn out, tough competitive fights. So after the second one, because the second one is likely going to be a war, I think the first one he might knock him out. He might need a bit of time off, so he will be able to close out the year with the belt without having to fight anyone else after beating Volkanovski twice. Bold prediction, not confident, but I have a feeling, man. And also, in this picture, he's posing with the belt. I had to use that. I like that confidence of Ilya. I just hope he's not overly confident because he could get humbled. He may be due for humble pie, but I hope not. I'm rooting for Topuria to win. Lightweight division, Islam Makhachev. He's the guy to beat in the lightweight division. Best lightweight in the world. I think he's going to beat Charles Oliveira again, and he's going to beat Justin Gaethje, and he's going to close the year out as champion. He's going to beat either Gaethje or Charles, whoever the UFC chooses in like the spring, and then he's going to fight again in Abu Dhabi and fight Charles or Gaethje and win. Who knows, though? Arman Tsarukyan could throw himself in the hat. Maybe Islam fights Gaethje next, and they do Arman Charles, and Oliveira loses to Arman. But either way, man, I think Makhachev, he beats them all. And then welterweight, last year I went against Leon, and I'm going to have to go against him again. I could be wrong. I'm not doubting you, Leon. I've picked against you enough times, but I think Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to get that belt. I really think so. I think Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to beat Leon Edwards for the welterweight strap. I think he just has the perfect style to beat Leon. I think he's a bad matchup for Leon. Shavkat is him, man. And I do favor him to beat most other welterweights on the roster as well. He's got the perfect, complete skill set. He's big for the division. He's got amazing, crisp stand-up, heavy hands, good Brazilian jiu-jitsu, good wrestling. I think he's a threat to Leon everywhere. I think Leon's going to beat Bilal, but then lose the belt to Shavkat Rakhmonov. That's what I see happening. And then middleweight, this one may be a bit crazy, because I think a lot of people are doubting Khamzat based off the Kamaru-Usman fight, where I thought Usman won 2 rounds and Chimaev won the first via 10-8. It was a draw in my opinion. He didn't look the greatest, like the Burns fight, but I just feel like with people doubting him, I feel like people are going to jinx it. I think Chimaev, with this time off he's going to take, he's going to improve. Middleweight's not the strongest division anyway. I mean, you got Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland in a title fight in January. Just kind of shows how much the division has really fallen off. Israel Adesanya himself has fallen off. Robert Whittaker, too soon. I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to make that judgment based off the Costa fight. But I think he can beat either du Plessis or Khamzat Chimaev. I've seen Dricus du Plessis get it handed to him in the first round against Brunson. If Khamzat has him in those positions, he can finish the fight. He can finish Sean Strickland in the first round. Now, obviously, Chimaev is not that good when it goes past the first round, but that could change. He could improve his cardio, he could adjust his pacing, and still beat the winner of du Plessis and Sean Strickland. But either way, I don't see Dricus or Sean ending the year as champ. I could easily say that Dricus will dethrone Strickland and then call out Adesanya and then make a legacy off beating the former champ Izzy. That is very possible. I could foresee that. But I think Chimaev is going to have a Sean O'Malley moment where he has that one iffy performance that earns him a title shot. People don't see him winning the belt, but he goes out there and he wins the belt anyway. That's what I think is going to happen. Now we move on to light heavyweight. I think my boy Jamal Hill is going to get that belt back. I could be a little bit biased. I know Jamal Hill is a brother like myself, but I got to go with Jamal, man. I honestly do see him beating Alex Pereira. This prediction could change. But Jamal Hill, man, I do feel like he is the best light heavyweight in the world. He got extremely unlucky with that Achilles heel injury. Never should have lost the belt, but unfortunately, injury had to vacate. But I think he's going to pick up right where he left off on that run he was on. And I think he has what it takes to beat Jamal Hill. He's more patient than Yuri, tighter with his boxing. As long as he's able to shut down the leg kicks of Pereira, I think boxing-wise, punch for punch, he can go up against Alex, and I can see him starching Pereira. And then after that, whoever he fights after, I see him defending the belt. And now moving on to heavyweight, Tom Aspinall. I think Tom Aspinall is going to be the undisputed champion. John Jones, I think, is going to retire and vacate the belt. He'll fight Stipe, beat Stipe, retire off that win over Stipe, and then Aspinall is going to be promoted to undisputed, or Tom Aspinall will fight John Jones. And I honestly, I don't want to doubt John Jones. Honestly, I'm not going to say he beats John. He might not beat John, but he could beat John. He's got the style to beat John Jones. I just feel like it's going to be Tom Aspinall. I don't see it being John Jones. He's older. He's already had his time. Tom Aspinall is that hot new. And yeah, I just see him reigning atop the light heavyweight division to close out 2024. These are my official picks for champs by the end of 2024. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and yeah. Peace out.